Hi guys, and welcome to the channel. Today I want to go over my experience of the DJI FPV Combo kit drone. So I received this drone about two weeks ago, 2.5 weeks ago, and what I would like to do is just go over what my experience was with this drone. So I just want to give you some background. I don't have extreme FPV skills or really background, but I did some FPV flying with my Phantom 3 with the Fat Shark goggles. You know, I was really keen to get into the FPV flying. It was very crude way back, and I never really got into the real like you see now, the small FPV drones. I did a lot of RC helicopter flying and RC plane flying. Also a lot of monster truck riding. So I do have a good experience on RC helicopters, planes, and then I've also had pretty much all the DJI drones as they progressed. I think my first one was the Phantom 3, I think. Phantom 3 or Phantom 2. Somewhere along that line, but it was the big old copter. And then basically what I did is I went onto the Mavic Pro, and then I also had, while I had the Mavic Pro, I also had the Spark. And the funny thing is, between the Spark and the Mavic Pro, the one that I flew the most was the Spark. It's quite bizarre because the Mavic had a long flight time, but for me, having kids and stuff, I need something that I can get up in the air, that's super unintrusive. I can get it up, get it out flying, and then do my flight, and then land it and pack it away, and then it's gone. As soon as it becomes more of an event, now again, there's a lot of people that find time to actually do this. You know, when you do have a lot of time where you can then sit and plan your shots and all that lovely stuff, I think the whole Mavic Pro range is absolutely awesome. I wish I had like time to really go and fly and have some time to actually set aside for like really nice flying. So yeah, I flew my Spark most of the time because I can really go to the park, I can hand launch it, I can do a bit of flying, catch it again, put it back in the bag, and then off it goes. And then then I sold my Spark, and I kept my Mavic because my Mavic had like really long range. The only reason why I sold the Spark was because the Spark had very poor reception, and this was one of the things that was really something that was bugging me. You know, I would have loved to have this OcuSync version 2 in the Spark. But then the Mini came out, and now it's the Mini 2. And then I thought to myself, you know, now when this new FPV drone came out, I thought it's going to be something in between a full-blown FPV drone and then a more DJI style with all the safeties built into it. So that's my background, and now I want to talk about the drone. Now I just want to go over the quick the parts of the drone. So let's get started with the controller. So as you can see, this controller is really nice. You know, this flip up where the antennas is really nice. You know, the switches, the tactic feedback on these things are absolutely awesome. I love the weight of it. I do play a bit of PlayStation, whatever, and the controllers is really comfortable. To be able to take the sticks off, that is perfect, and you store them there on the inside. That's all very nice. All in all, the controller build quality and just the feel of it is top notch. You know, it's typical DJI style. I really love it, and that's it. You know, it charges via USB-C. You know, everything in 2020 should be USB-C. It just makes it so much easier. I can charge it with my MacBook's charger, I can charge it with my iPad charger, I can charge it with everything. So USB-C, definitely a big one. So that is the the remote, and now I want to go over to the goggles. And this is one of the things that was quite interesting to me. It's really quite a lot of adjustment, and I sort of like the cup here at the back that you can really, it sits nicely at the back of your head here. It's got fans that keeps the inside of your face cool, and I like that. The build quality on this goggles, this is the version 2 goggles, is really good. Now, I flew with the Fat Shark stuff. Now, yes, it is many years ago, but the quality on this thing, where we can set the distance between your eyes, and the clarity of the screen inside is just absolutely awesome. And it's also light because the battery plugs into the side, and you have a little cable coming down. You can put the battery in your back pocket, and then the weight, if you have the battery in the front as well, that will also be much heavier. So having the battery in your back pocket is perfect. Really nice. Now, the big problem for me, now I had the Oculus Quest, and I have now the Oculus Quest 2, and the Oculus goggles, VR goggles, is super comfortable. Now, yes, I do have a big nose, but these goggles are the most uncomfortable goggles that I've ever had on. Even the Fat Shark stuff that I had like way back were more comfortable. For some reason, this inside bit here, I need to push it down onto my nose to about here before I get clarity of the whole screen. Now, I thought there was a way to really set the screen's inside angle, like what you can do with the VR stuff, but you can't. It is fixed, so you need to position it on your face to actually get that setting. Now, I have dropped it totally much lower with the straps, higher. I've tried all the adjustments, but this light leak from the front, maybe I've got a very narrow face, but just as a note to anyone, this goggles does not fit all faces. For some bizarre reason, this doesn't fit my face, and it's, for me, very weird. So I've also ordered the extra foam attachments, another £14 from DJI. It's £14, and then it's another £7 for like postage. So that's quite a lot of money for like a foam insert to correct a set of goggles that should have been spot on. That's my only critique on the goggles. It's not comfortable for my face, but the clarity and everything is spot on. The weight, everything, the adjustment, the inside ability to change all the settings, awesome. So that's the goggles. Also the goggles, the other thing that's really nice, if you want to get into FPV flying, you can download the DJI FPV app, and that allows you to then connect it to your phone and then do FPV flying with your remote control and experience FPV flying. Total manual, you can fly in normal mode, in sport mode, and then in total manual mode. And it's very interesting because it is actually very hard. And I think if you want to get into FPV, you need to really put some proper dedication in on the simulator firstly. Now this thing has got the simulator is pretty much for free. And then just sort of use the simulator to get used to the whole flying experience, because yeah, it is difficult. And I also, from VR, I don't get motion sickness at all, but when I'm flying FPV, I get motion sickness. Quite bizarre. So just a note on that. Okay, so that's the goggles. And if there's any further questions you want to ask, please drop them down in the comments below, and I will get to you. So now getting onto the drone. Now, don't get me wrong, this is absolutely, this is absolutely brilliant. The build quality, how everything is fit and finished is absolutely beautiful, man. It's a typical DJI product. The gimbal cover is a little bit fiddly, but I've never had any gimbal covers that was a breeze. The gimbal cover is really easy. The props to add it to fit it on is really good, and it's nice and easy. It's clear. The lights for like low light flying is really good. The sensors work really well. The battery at the back, you know, where you really just do that and this whole battery comes out the back, you know, it's really, really good. You can just push that back in and then it clips in. It's really nice. You know, the whole drone and how it fits together, it's really, really, really nice. So now you're asking, why do I want to return this? This that I've praised so much. Let's get to the point where I want to give you some feedback about why I want to return this drone and what I personally want to use this for. So I've now had 2 weeks of flying with this drone, and don't get me wrong, you know, the normal mode and the sport mode, and I actually haven't tried the manual mode because no, I can't. I don't have very much experience with FPV flying, and that's why I would rather spend some time in the sim. And this is also a very interesting thing that I started realizing, that if you pay a lot of money for a drone like this, and you don't have any FPV experience, the chances of me flying this drone in manual mode off the bat, like after the first week in manual mode, is very slim, because I don't want to really crash this drone, because replacing it or fixing it is not as easy as the pure dedicated FPV drones. The FPV drones are super robust. They've got prop guards, and they are slim and light and really strong. Yes, the flight times is not that long, but you know, I think when you do FPV flying in the beginning, and this is what I started realizing, you really need something that you can smack around and it's easy to fix. There's loads of spares. You get your soldering iron out and you fix it and you repair it and you team it up with your DJI goggles and your DJI controller and their camera, and then you're all sorted. But I would not be doing this with this drone. Let me tell you one thing, this is a lot of money, and I would probably most of the times fly it in normal, or I would fly it into sport. Now that's not because I'm a chicken, it's just because it's for me to get any spares on this drone is going to cost me quite a lot of money compared to an FPV, the equivalent FPV, dedicated FPV drone. So this got me thinking that maybe it's actually a better idea to have a drone for shooting video and photos, and then having a smaller drone that I can get to grips with FPV. Because again, you know, I've seen a lot of YouTube videos on FPV flying, and everyone tries to explain to you and whatever, but they never, you know, it is hard. I flew remote control helicopters. That thing doesn't fly by itself. You need to have input all the time, and I think it feels to me like it's on par with how difficult it is to fly an FPV drone, because you need to put the input in. If there's a little bit of wind to the one side, you need to correct for that wind. So it doesn't hover by itself. There is no DJI support in it. You know, there's no stabilization, there's no GPS, there's no nothing. So you need to be awake, and you need to spend some time on the simulator to really get the hang of the FPV flying. So this is the reason why I'm really thinking of returning this drone and then getting myself a smaller drone. And now the thing is, what I was thinking, you know, the new Mini 2 that is out now, and I've done quite a lot of research about the Mini 2. I think the Mini 2 is going to be the perfect drone for what I want to use. Again, it's almost like the DJI Spark. It's nice and small. I get 30 minutes or 31 minutes of flight time. You know, I never fly that long. I'll probably stop at like 25 minutes just to get a nice buffer in there. But to have like 30 minutes of flying time, the 3-axis gimbal and all those type of things, you know, it makes what I want to use it for is probably going to be the best. It's also got the Oculus 2 sync in, so you get that long transmission in a light, super compact drone. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to trade in or I'm going to return this this FPV drone, and then I'm gonna go and buy myself the DJI Mini 2. And yeah, watch out for that video. I've already started the return process on this one, so I will do a video about that. So just a few other comments on the drone. With my few flights that I've done, I didn't get close to 20 minutes of flying time at all. Even in normal mode, sport mode, it is always around this 12 to 15 minutes of flying time. Now again, you know, for an FPV drone, that is almost double or triple the amount of time that you do get. But if you're used to a DJI drone, that is half the time you are used to. If you take a Mavic Pro, it's pretty much half the time. So that was the other thing that got to me as well. You know, I was flying in the forest in normal mode, in sport mode, with the goggles on, and really you need path and whatever, and it was really good. But yeah, you get 12 minutes and you really just get into getting to learn the drone. Then it says returning to home, and it shoots up in the sky, and then it wants to come back to you. Then you need to pause the recording, and then the battery is like, and really wants to get you home as quickly as possible. So just be aware of that as well. You know, bank on about 12 minutes of flying time. Depends on in which mode you fly. But even if you can bank on like 12 to 15 minutes of flying time in normal mode, that is what you're looking at. Now, I never flew in very strong winds. Yes, I am in the UK here, so it is quite cold. Well, 5 degrees, so it shouldn't be a 5 minutes difference. So yeah, just be aware of that. Also, the gimbal is only a 2-axis gimbal, so it's not going to be a super stable footage as what you are compared to your 3-axis gimbals that you get in the other DJI drones. And also remember that you're going to see the props in your video, so you'll have to crop that out. There's enough croppage that you can crop the props out and get still a nice, really good angle of view on your drone. So that's not really an issue, but I'm just letting you guys know. But yeah, the drone is, even in sport mode, it's really fast. In normal mode, it's really fast. And then in sport mode, it's even quicker. And I thought to myself, I'm just going to go out in the forest and then just I can start ripping through these fire trails. It's again, it's really time. You need to practice to get used to how the drone feels, how it flies, because when you have the goggles on, that's your field of view. You can't look up and see upstairs. It's not VR. That's your view. And if you stuck underneath a tree in the forest, you can't look up to see if there's any tree above you. So if you're flying in the forest and you're running low on battery and the drone goes up, there's no sensors on the top, so it might fly into some treetops. So these are the things that you need to be aware of. If you're flying in a big open area, like in like the beach, or you've got really open space, it's perfect. But if you want to have that really FPV experience where you fly through stuff and whatever, just be aware of that. There's no sensors on the top, so if you need to come home and it goes up automatically, then you might run into some trouble. But otherwise, guys, if you want to experience the in-between hardcore FPV and the DJI thing, the DJI safety bits where it's GPS driven and all that lovely stuff, this is an awesome drone. But if you are looking for something small and you want to do nice video and cinematic shooting and this and that, the other, for photos and whatever, and you're looking for something that you can get up in the air and quick in the air, and you can everything to repair is much cheaper, it might be worth looking somewhere else. But yeah, I really wanted to experience this, and this is why I jumped on the bandwagon really at the start. And that's my feedback. If you guys have any feedback, or if you've got any questions about it, please drop it in the comments below, and I will try and answer that. But again, you know, this is coming from someone that has had lots of experience with DJI drones, but not so much experience as an FPV pilot. I've always wanted to be, and I will probably try and get to it later on when I do have a lot of time to sit and practice. But currently I've got too many other little sideline projects that I'm working on, so I can't really dedicate time to just fly drones. And if I take this FPV drone and I compare that to like the Mini 2, I gain double the flight time. If I buy the Fly More Combo pack, it is still half the price than just this base drone with the one battery. So just take that into consideration. You know, if you want to shoot the family, holiday scenes down by the beach, when you're paddleboarding, or when you're out camping and all that type of stuff, or hiking or biking, and you want to take some photos of mates and whatever, you know, this FPV drone will do it all, but the Mini will also do it at half the price, and you've got then what, 90 minutes of flying time with 3 batteries in the Fly More Combo kit. So yeah, just have a little think about it. But yeah, please drop a comment below, and I will try and answer it. And thank you for watching, guys, and I will see you on the next video. Cheers.